Let's move on to topic number 8. You know I'm excited to move on to this one. The French Grand Prix is back, baby. F1 is back for a triple header, and we're starting off in La Castellet, France. And I don't know if that sounded right, so don't get on me if it was poor, but I tried my best. But yeah, man, the French Grand Prix is back, and the battle between Max and Lewis, or I should say, the battle between Lewis and Max, because the king goes first, is going to resume.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point about the two top points leaders in the standings right now. Verstappen 1, Lewis Hamilton 2. As we've been saying for the last few weeks before each race, that, you know, Lewis Hamilton has been the king on the top of the mountain for so long. You know, Max Verstappen is the one that wants to be knocking on that doorstep, and he wants to be knocking Hamilton off so that he can sit on top of the throne of Formula One racing. And then when you look at this race too, another great thing about this is, we were talking about this before the show, you know, there were some races last year that the circuit was limited because of coronavirus. So they didn't have as many races. They normally have, 14, 15 races. I think it was cut down maybe even to 8 or 9. I can't remember exactly how many there were last year. But this was one of the races that didn't happen last year because of coronavirus. So 2019, Lewis Hamilton won it. Last year, they didn't have it. Now you have technically your defending champion, Lewis Hamilton, coming in. He's the defending champ. He's second in points, going up against Max Verstappen, who's first. And these guys have been duking it out all year. You know, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's you mentioned before how much of an awesome track it is. The scenery in France is unbelievable. I'm sure the fans who haven't seen this Grand Prix live in 2 years now are going to be amped for this. You know, things are starting to open up with the pandemic and everything too. So this race is going to be a lot of fun for everybody involved. But the two guys at the top, it's going to be fun to see if they can maybe get down to that final stretch of the Grand Prix and see if they're the ones going wire to wire at the end.
Yeah, no, you bring up a great point of how this track is exciting. It is a great track that you just have battling pretty much all over the track in sectors 1, 2, and 3. When we were here last in 2019, man, the start was chaotic and hectic, and we had Sebastian Vettel spin around Valtteri Bottas, and cars were all over the place in turn 1. So hopefully we don't see that in 2021, especially for Bottas or even for Vettel. But yeah, I mean, it's really one of those things where it's one of those tracks where you can go for it. You can try to send it. You can try to stick it up the inside. And I think that's exactly what Vettel was trying to do in 2019. He just got the breaking point wrong. But it's going to be a battle, man, and we're going to get to see the battle of the two go for these trophies, which I think, look, producer's been showing them some of the coolest trophies in F1 history with the gorilla holding up the Pirelli tire. And those are the two from 2019 that Mercedes ended up collecting, with Bottas and Lewis Hamilton being on the podium. And I would personally love to see that again, with Mercedes collecting 2 of these podium trophies again. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me to see Max Verstappen up there as well as this battle resumes. And it's like a heavyweight fight, right? It's like, you know, the title holder and the king, he has a knockout blow. You think it's the knockout blow, but the contender comes back with a punch. He's got some power punches of himself. And now, you know, the champ's back on the ropes, and now the champ's coming back off the ropes. It's literally back and forth like that with these two great contenders duking it out for this F1 championship. And I can't wait to see what happens this weekend. I honestly think it's one of these things where I think it's going to come down to maybe the last 2 or 3 rounds anyway. And as a fan, that's all what we want to see anyway, is great racing, pivotal racing for the championship, for constructors too. So let's not leave out constructors as well. That Red Bull is currently leading constructors, a title that Mercedes has won for the last 7 years. So, and I don't think Mercedes is willing to give that grip up. I think they've got a strong grip on that trophy, and they're not going to give it up easy. So I'm looking forward to this battle resuming hard here in France this weekend. And it was one of those last things where at Baku, I thought Mercedes was going to be the stronger team, but Red Bull, man, Red Bull's got something up their sleeve this year where they honestly might be the strongest car on the grid right now. So Mercedes is really going to have to dig deep this week to put themselves up there. And Lewis Hamilton has been getting everything he can out of this car, driving the wheels off of it. So, man, I think the battle resumes, and I've got to go with my man this weekend, and I've got to go with Lewis Hamilton winning the French Grand Prix, Max Verstappen coming in second, And I've got two guys that I think are going to battle it out for the third spot and for the final podium spot. That's Charles Leclerc of Ferrari and Pierre Gasly of AlphaTauri, all right, and AlphaTauri Honda. Pierre Gasly is a French driver, okay? Esteban Ocon's a French driver. Esteban Ocon for Alpine, which is also a French team. So we could potentially see, a lot out of these French drivers and the French team at the French Grand Prix. And I know that would be exciting for all of our French viewers, if we have any. I messed that one up. But yeah, if we have any, if not, give us a subscribe. But I think there's some exciting storylines ahead in this French Grand Prix. But obviously the big one is Max versus Lewis, or like I should say, the king goes first, Lewis versus Max.
Yeah, no question. And, we're looking at these trophies right now, and you see the Pirelli tires up there. They're praying that those tires don't have issues this week like they did in the last race. So we'll see if that has any effect on this one like it did back at Baku. So that's going to be another fun Formula One race, especially with the two guys at the top.